Hi everyone, hope you well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Cardano once again, but thank you for your continued support. Really do appreciate it. You know, big thumbs up to each and every one of you. I hope you had a really good week and I hope you have a really good week moving forward. So I just want to make you aware of the extra content that we've got going on the Patreon right now. Okay, there's people that have joined up to the Patreon, but there was no content, but now we're starting to provide content in there. So do check that out if you're not already a member of the Patreon. And once again, thank you for your support in the Patreon as well. It's really good. We're going to start rolling even more content out into that, and especially some of our exclusive sort of altcoin picks that we're going to start doing on a regular occasion on the Friday as well. So we may do a few more altcoin picks. We're discussing it at the moment. There's basically a team behind CoinsKid at the moment, and we're discussing plans. So it's all good. It's all good. If you're not already involved, then every single link to everything is on coinskid.com in the link section, and obviously in the video description as well. So it's all good. So right now you can see Cardano is doing relatively well. It's picked up. It's entered a little bit of consolidation range right there because look at this big candle. Okay, like I said to you, you don't want to get too overextended because then you roll hard. But right now you can see, just looking at the RSI, okay, how much more room you could actually grow. I mean, you're currently sat here, you're having a little bit of a curl down, look, because anything above the purple box is overbought, and you can see if it gets completely overbought, you do start to roll and then obviously come back down into the purple box. Now remember this, okay, in the bear market, look at this, in the bear market, you know, this is indicative of where your floor is. You know, the absolute lowest that Cardano's ever been is around about 34. So remember that in the future, if you do start to see Cardano roll in the bear market, basically, you know, after this bull run, if you do start to see it rolling, it comes back down into the floor, what a fantastic opportunity that would actually be to get involved there. And like I say, by fear. Okay, look at that absolute fear. It's in the floor. No one wants to know about it. Okay, pure capitulation. Everyone's selling the bags. You know, they're the absolute golden opportunities. Look at Cardano down there at like 1 penny. You know, it's amazing, amazing. So right now, you know, you could see Cardano actually march on from here and have a really nice little run up to our price predictions up there. Even get to this 1272 extension before actually getting really, really overbought there, where you could potentially see it hit its head, roll over to a key level of support before continuation in this bull market. So I just want to reassure you, so far it's looking relatively good to get to our current price predictions of the 186, I think it was. I think it was just shy of that, to be fair. We'll dive in a moment, but I do, you know, we've got a $2 plus price prediction, and so far so good. We're marching towards it for Cardano, but always make you aware you've got the anomaly of Bitcoin, okay, and Bitcoin's struggling a little bit, isn't it? So do keep an eye on Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin has a bit of a correction, then obviously you're fully aware that alts have that correction as well. And that's what I said to you about if you do start to see Cardano roll, then you do want to see it rest on the previous sort of all-time high, basically, in the previous swing high. So if it was to roll from here down to that particular level, you would be looking at a 24% sort of correction down to the previous all-time high, because that's what happens. Okay, when things go up, like I've said to you so many times, they make swing highs, swing lows, and they usually rest on the previous swing high for confirmation of an uptrend. When you start losing that, that's when you create that reversal wave and you enter sort of a downtrend and a reversal trend, basically. So that's Cardano on the weekly, looking relatively strong, looking relatively good and relatively bullish. But I'll always make you aware of every single outcome. Okay, I'm never going to lie to you. I can say it's going up here without any pullback. You're fully aware it's going to have pullback. You only have to look at the charts that it has pullbacks. Look, you had sort of 1-2 consolidation ranges that were quite nasty. You know, there were quite considerable pullbacks just here in this third leg up. So anything can happen, basically. So right now, I'm going to dive into the 4-hourly for Cardano. Yeah, so just looking at Cardano on the 4-hourly then, looks really, really strong. You're a little bit extended from the EMAs right here. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? You got a little bit extended, and that's why you get sort of getting this little bit of a roll, but it's perfectly healthy. What we're going to do now is obviously we were just shy of that future price prediction right there, because it is getting a little bit overextended. And you can see, you know, if you start to move to the left, you can see what happens if you do get a little bit overextended and create them big gaps, you know, them big rocket ship green candles. This is why it is sort of slowing down a little bit. This was a really big impulsive move just to get you out of there and break the high. Do you see that? Then what you've done, you've rolled back, you found support off for 20. Great, golden for continuation. So right now you've gone up in another impulsive wave and you're starting to retrace. Now if you do start to fall any lower, do anticipate that the yellow line, which is a 20 on the 4-hourly time frame, do anticipate a fantastic little support area right there, and that would be a great place to put some cheeky little bids in. Okay, if you're not involved in Cardano, if you do start to see it correct a little bit more, then I would anticipate it would bounce there, because look, it's bounced here and it's showing an enormous support since it started this breakout of this all-time high, and that would actually be a lovely little bounce and continuation to our price prediction just there, where I would imagine, you know, a couple of more legs of what it's gone through here, you would actually be at that $2. So it's all good, it's all golden. But obviously you've got the anomaly of Bitcoin. You're completely aware about that. You're completely aware of that, you know, in the space that Bitcoin, if it decides to go down, it takes the market with it, unfortunately. So this particular impulsive wave just here, you're can see what it's doing. It's basically retracing right now. So you can see, even if it did come down to the golden line, the yellow line, the 20 EMA on the 4 hour, you would be sitting on the 050. So again, that's why I always tell people to put some cheeky bids on the 050 as a bounce, basically, because that's a very, very common area for retracement to bounce through. So right now you can see that it is relatively strong, to be honest with you, because you've got some lovely couple of bounces off of 0382 around about $1.72. It's showing enormous strength for support, but if you do start to lose that, then do anticipate a cheeky little bid on this particular area, which is tying up with this yellow line, which is a 20 EMA, and that particular area is $1.69. Now again, you know, full transparency, if you do start to lose the yellow line, okay, which is a 20 on the 4 hour, if you do start to lose that and you start to close below $1.66, it's no longer an impulsive wave, corrective wave situation. You're looking at potentially a reversal wave. So it's basically just a cooling off of the trend, a consolidation event before continuation. So do anticipate that. You can't afford to see Cardano close below this level on the 4 hour. Around about $1.65, yeah, that'll do, round about there. So if you start to see it close below that and it's hitting its head as resistance, then do anticipate you potentially coming back down to where you came from, which is $1.56 for Cardano, and that would actually be a reversal wave right there. But it's not a bad thing if it did happen, okay? I want to reassure you. It's just, it means it's got a little bit overextended and it's potentially looking for the 55 as a test, because you can see where the 55 is right there. I'm not saying it will happen, but just be aware that it could happen, which would actually hold you up and continuation in the ballroom right here. So I do anticipate that Cardano is really strong, to be honest with you. There's a lot of support for Cardano. It is moving really, really nicely. Your EMAs are a little bit extended, and the reason is because of this move here. Because of this move here, it's got a little bit extended, and you can see that, you know, if you do start to go any further right now, if you do start to go up to these particular levels at this instant, you will start seeing an overextended EMA and possibly a vertical EMA where you will roll. So you want this sort of nice, steady, organic growth like this, you know, hill ranges, not mountains, basically. You start to get these peaks like that, and you roll effectively. I've taught you that, because look to the left. You only have to look to the left to see. If you go up too steep, what happens? You lose support. Too steep, you lose support. Look at that for steepness. This is effectively what you've got on the first wave down, the first impulsive wave. You actually bolted up. Then the second wave, fortunately for Cardano, it's gone up and it's sort of rolled a little bit, and it's come a little bit deeper on the retracement. Look, do you see that? So it's looking more organic, so to speak. So looking relatively healthy for continuation. You're just retracing at the moment. Keep an eye on them levels that I've given you, okay? Because if you start to see Cardano close below $1, I'll drop that in for you again. If you start to see it close below $1.66, yeah, $1.66607 to be frank. If it starts to close below that, then do anticipate you will be looking at a reversal wave back down to the 55 EMA, where you may start to sort of go sideways a little bit. But right now, it's looking really good. I'm not going to lie to you, it's looking really good. If you also start and close below 172, do anticipate that 169 would save your ass, and that's where the 20 EMA is, and that would be beautiful, to be honest with you, because what you've done, you've come back and you bounced off the 20 for continuation. Because right there, you know, I'm just going to lay down a future price prediction based off that next impulsive wave, because this is what they are. These are impulsive waves up, corrective waves down, impulsive waves up, corrective waves down, and this is what you want to see. You don't want to see it going vertical and just taking off into space, because you're going to get overbought, you're going to lose support, and, you know, especially weekly as well. I bet it'll start to look really overcooked. So right now, what we'll do, we'll lay down a future price prediction off this 050 extension just here, because I do anticipate if you do start to come down any more, that would be a really nice level, because it's tying up with a 20, okay? And you can see that this impulsive wave, when it started to correct and have that retracement, it found support on the 20. So this is what you may be looking at. You may be looking at a little bit more of a correction back down to sort of $1.69, where I would anticipate you would get a kiss and a lovely little retest of this 20 EMA on the 4 hourly time frame. So what I'm going to do is lay down a future price prediction based off that scenario, okay? So from there to there, we go from the top of the impulsive wave and down to the corrective wave. So if Cardano comes down to this particular line right now and sort of sits on it and gets a little kiss, then I would anticipate the next impulsive wave, so something like this, next impulsive wave taking you up to sort of $1.93 for Cardano. And from here, that could be a lovely little appreciation. If you put some cheeky bids in, that's a nice little 14% upside for Cardano. And then there, I would imagine you can look at the structure right there. You can look and see that once Cardano was to get up there like that, you could see it starting to roll back on this as support before continuing like that to the $2, which we've outlined as well, because that way you're going up nice and organically. Do you see that? And you're not going vertical and getting overextended, and because that's when you lose the EMAs, that's when you roll and you have that deep correction right there. So yeah, I've given you all support levels there and the future price prediction. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that update, everybody. Please take care, and once again, thank you for your continued support. It's looking really golden for continuation. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye bye.